Once upon a time, there was a beautiful woman named Miss Ada. She had long, shiny hair that flowed like a river, and everyone admired her as she walked through the busy market. The sun sparkled on her hair, making it look like it was made of gold. People whispered, "Look at Miss Ada, she is so lovely." One day, Miss Ada decided to visit Amarachi's hair shop. Amarachi was a young girl who owned a small shop filled with beautiful wigs and hair extensions. Miss Ada entered the shop and Amarachi's eyes widened with joy. She had never seen anyone as beautiful as Miss Ada. "Welcome to my shop," Amarachi said, trying to be friendly. "What can I do for you today?" "I need a new wig for a party," Miss Ada replied with a smile. Amarachi showed her many colorful wigs, but Miss Ada's favorite was the one that looked like her own hair. It was long, shiny, and made everyone gasp in awe. As Miss Ada tried on the wigs, she loved how they made her look. She felt like a queen. After picking the perfect one, she decided to try on a few more just for fun. Soon, it was time to go, and Miss Ada thanked Amarachi, leaving the shop with a big smile. However, in her excitement, Miss Ada forgot her favorite hair extension. Amarachi found it lying on the floor, shining like a star. She picked it up and stared at it, mesmerized. It was beautiful, and Amarachi felt a strong urge to keep it. "I can sell this wig for a lot of money," Amarachi thought greedily. Little did she know, Miss Ada was not just any woman. She was a mermaid, and that hair was not just beautiful, it was magical. Amarachi's hair shop was small but filled with beautiful things. There were wigs of different colors, pink, blue, and even rainbow. She loved her shop and dreamed of being rich and famous one day. Each morning, she would sweep the floor and polish the mirrors, hoping to attract more customers. The busy market was filled with chatter, and vendors shouted to sell their goods. "Buy your fruits, fresh fish, beautiful hair," they called. Amarachi wanted to be the best hair seller in the city. She often watched the rich women who passed by, admiring their luxurious hair and pretty clothes. "One day, I will have all that," she whispered to herself. "I just need to be clever and find a way to get rich." As she walked, she heard customers chatting about Miss Ada. "Did you see her hair? It's so beautiful," they exclaimed. Amarachi felt a little envious. She wanted to have that kind of hair too. But today was different. Miss Ada had left behind a treasure, and Amarachi could hardly believe her luck. She decided to keep it a secret. She thought, "If I can sell this hair, I will have enough money to buy all the wigs I wanted." After Miss Ada left the shop, Amarachi was alone. She picked up the beautiful hair extension and ran her fingers through it. "This is so beautiful. This is so nice. I can't believe she forgot this," she giggled. She imagined how much money she could make by selling it, but something inside her said it was not right to keep it. She remembered her mother's saying, "Always return what isn't yours." But the hair was so beautiful, and the thought of becoming rich was too tempting. "I'll just take a little," Amarachi decided. She carefully took a few strands of the hair and hid them in her pocket. "No one will notice," she said, feeling excited about her secret. Later that day, Miss Ada realized that she had left her hair behind. "Oh no, my favorite hair," she gasped, rushing back to the shop. She hoped Amarachi would find it. When Miss Ada entered the shop again, Amarachi was ready to act innocent. "Welcome back. You forgot your hair," Amarachi said, trying to sound cheerful. "Oh, thank you," Miss Ada smiled, not knowing what Amarachi had done. She was just glad to see her hair again. Miss Ada took her hair, but quickly noticed that a few strands were missing. "Wait a minute," she said, frowning. It seems like some of my hair is gone. Are you sure you didn't take it? Amarachi's heart raced. Oh no, I promise. This is all of it, she lied, trying to sound convincing. Miss Ada looked into Amarachi's eyes, searching for truth, but she only saw innocence. Okay, if you say so, she replied, still feeling uneasy. Amarachi felt a wave of guilt washed over her, but her greed was stronger. I will use the magic of the hair to make me beautiful and rich. That night, as Amarachi lay in bed, she couldn't stop thinking about the hair. She closed her eyes and dreamed of sparkling jewels and fancy clothes. I want to be just like Miss Ada, she sighed. Suddenly, she heard a voice in her dream. Beware, greedy one. The hair is magical and it belongs to the sea. The voice was deep and echoing, like the sounds of waves crashing. Amarachi woke up with a start, scared but excited. It's just a dream, she told herself, brushing it off. Nothing will happen if I keep a little more, but deep down, she felt a tinge of worry. The next morning, Amarachi decided to put her plan into action. She would wear some of the stolen hair and see what happened. If it made her beautiful, she would keep the rest without anyone knowing. Meanwhile, deep in the sea, Miss Ada swam gracefully through the colorful coral reefs. She was not just a beautiful woman, she was also a mermaid in the water. Her hair flowed like seaweed, shimmering with magic. Miss Ada loved her ocean home, filled with playful fish and friendly sea turtles. In the underwater kingdom, there was a mermaid queen who watched over all the mermaids. She sensed that something was wrong. One of my mermaids has lost her magic hair, she said to her fish friends who gathered around her. Someone in the city has stolen it, the queen declared. We must find out who it is. The hair holds our magic and power, and if it is misused, it could bring great trouble to both the sea and the land. As the queen swam through the ocean, her sparkling tail glimmering in the light, she reached out with her magic to locate Miss Ada. Later that evening, Miss Ada sat before her mirror. She carefully brushed the hair extension and noticed how it sparkled under the light. This is truly beautiful, she gasped. Feeling excited, Miss Ada decided to wear the hair for the party. She fashioned it into a stunning hairstyle that made her look even more enchanting. As she put it on, she felt a warm glow envelop her. When she stepped into the party, everyone turned to look at her in awe. Who is that stunning woman? They whispered. Miss Ada felt confident and powerful. Meanwhile, Amarachi was at home, tossing and turning in her bed. She couldn't shake off her greed. I wish I could be as beautiful and rich as Miss Ada, she sighed, closing her eyes tightly. As she slept, she dreamt of mermaids swimming in the ocean, their hair flowing like silk. In her dream, a mermaid swam up to her, her eyes shining with anger. Greedy girl, you have taken what doesn't belong to you, the mermaid warned. Return the hair before it is too late. Amarachi woke up with a jolt, feeling terrified. It was just a dream, she told herself, but the mermaid's words echoed in her mind. I can't give it back now. I'm going to be beautiful and famous. The next morning, Amarachi stood in front of her mirror, wearing the stolen strands of Miss Ada's hair. As she looked at her reflection, she couldn't believe her eyes. Her hair shimmered like stars, and her face seemed to glow with beauty. I look amazing, Amarachi cheered, spinning around. She felt powerful, as if she could conquer the world. But then she noticed something odd. The light in the room flickered, and her reflection appeared to change. Instead of her usual self, she saw a mermaid with a bright scale and a shimmering tail. Amarachi gasped. What is happening? She cried, feeling both thrilled and scared. As she stood outside, people began to notice her. They smiled and complimented her, but Amarachi felt a strange pull in her heart. She couldn't help but think about Miss Ada and the stolen hair. In the ocean, the mermaid queen was furious. She summoned her sea creatures to discuss the stolen hair. We must protect our magic. Someone in the city has taken it from us. As she spoke, a dark storm began to brew in the ocean. The waves roared and the sea creature trembled. We'll find the one who is responsible, the queen declared, her voice strong and determined, and they will face the consequences. Back in the city, Miss Ada started to feel uneasy. She sensed something was wrong. Why do I feel so strange? She wondered, glancing at the hair in her hand. Meanwhile, Amarachi, still wearing the stolen hair, felt a twinge of guilt. I must find a way to fix this, she thought, but her greed pushed her forward. She wanted more attention, more beauty, and more power. As days passed, Amarachi enjoyed her new life. People adored her, and she received invitations to parties and events. But with each compliment, she felt an emptiness inside her heart. One night, while attending a grand celebration, Amarachi felt a surge of power as she danced. The crowd surrounded her, enchanted by her beauty. Suddenly, the lights dimmed, and a gust of wind swept through the hall. "What's happening?" someone shouted, and the music stopped. The room went silent as a strange figure appeared in the entrance. It was the Mermaid Queen, her eyes fierce and glowing with anger. "Who dares to wear my daughter's hair?" the queen bellowed, her voice echoing through the hall. The guests gasped in shock, and Amarachi's heart sank. She realized she had crossed a line. "Amarachi," the queen called, pointing at her, "you have stolen what belongs to the mermaids. Return the hair or face the consequences." Amarachi felt her heart racing. No, please, I can explain," she cried, stepping back. "I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to take it. I just wanted to be beautiful." The queen frowned, her expression softening for a moment. "Beauty comes from within, not from stealing," she said, her voice firm yet gentle. "You must learn to be honest and kind." Miss Ada, realizing the commotion was about her hair, stepped forward. "We need to fix this," she said, looking at Amarachi with pity. The queen raised her hand and a wave of magic swept through the floor. "You have a choice, Amarachi. Return the hair and learn to appreciate what you have, or keep it and suffer the consequences." Amarachi trembled, feeling the weight of her choices. She looked at Miss Ada, who nodded encouragingly. "Do the right thing, Amarachi," she said softly. "Okay, I will return the hair," Amarachi said, her voice shaking. "I'm sorry for being greedy. I didn't mean to hurt anyone." The queen's expression softened. "Very well, but remember, greed will always lead to trouble. Learn from this experience." Amarachi stepped forward, taking off the stolen strands of hair. As she placed them in the queen's hands, a bright light enveloped them. The hair shimmered with magic as it returned to its rightful owner. With the hair returned, the queen smiled at Amarachi. "You have chosen wisely. Remember, true beauty comes from being yourself and being kind to others." Amarachi nodded, tears in her eyes. "I'm so sorry for being greedy. I've learned my lesson. I'll work hard and earn my beauty."